Dre and I, one night, we decided we were going to a rave. So we went to a rave. And we prepared ourselves and we went to a rave.
Yeah, I like prepared ourselves.
Yeah. So as we came, we prepared ourselves, and once we got there, man, we saw like ambulances outside prepared and water stations and everything. As we were walking in, we were like, man, this shit's serious. So as we're walking in, you start hearing.
Yeah.
The music doing some crazy shit.
That
We were
jungle.
like, what? It's like, man, listen to that shit. Drum, snares. And so we just went on a trip.
Yeah.
We went on a trip. So when we went back to the studio, that was kind of the stab or the attempt at kind of mimicking what we had just heard at a rave.
Yeah, it's the Almanac of Rap show. I got opinions and they all factual. No news, just information that you won't be able to use unless you're at a dinner party trying to impress who's in attendance with endless tidbits of nonsense. We're gonna have a good time, I promise. YouTube rabbit holes, Reddit deep dives, pulling out old interviews from the archives. Styles, fads, trends, all of that. It's the Almanac of Rap.
Welcome to the Almanac of Rap, the show that's for me, you, your mama, and your cousin too. I'm your host, Donwill, and today's guest is Mr. DJ. Mr. DJ is a Grammy Award-winning producer who's well known for his work with Outkast. In this conversation, we cover his journey from DJ to producer, working with Outkast, and becoming a new artist later in his career. We'll get into that in a second, but first, I gotta kick the Ballistics. Andre 3000 is one of the greatest rappers of all time. This is a fact. He belongs to Outkast, one of the greatest groups of all time. This is also a fact. But the other half of Outkast is just as deserving of the same praise we heap on to Andre. This is also a fact. But don't take my word for it. Take Andre's. In a 2017 interview with GQ, he says, Big Boy can rap better than me. I always said that. If somebody said, pick who you want from Outkast to go to battle with you, it wouldn't be me. Cause like, what I'ma do? Say some mind? You can't have thoughts in a battle. Nobody gives a shit about that. But today, I'd like to show Big Boy some love for something else that gets overlooked, which is continuing the legacy of the Dungeon family and Outkast via Purple Ribbon Records. It goes without saying that the Dungeon family is one of the most elite rap families ever. The branches of the family tree include groups like Outkast, the Goody Mob, and Future. Yes, that Future. But if you look at the extended family tree, their equally Southern fried cousins, the Purple Ribbon All-Stars, are just as star-studded. The nucleus of the crew took form when Outkast launched Aquemini Records in 2000, and shortly after, it flipped to Purple Ribbon Records, with Big Boy at the helm. The label's shining moment came when they dropped Big Boy Presents Purple Ribbon All-Stars, Got Perp Volume 2. The lead single from the project, Kryptonite, was absolutely inescapable when it dropped, and direct evidence that Big Boy and his Purple Ribbon All-Stars gang were more than capable of holding it down. The hook was infectious, the refrain was insanely fun, and if you ever needed a reminder that Big Boy was a star, this was it. I mean, we all know Big Boy, but all it takes is a look around at retrospective Outkast essays to know that compared to his seemingly more experimental comrade Andre 3000, he's never gotten the props he deserved. But don't get it twisted, he can rap. But I mean, the real ones always knew that anyway. With Outkast being in somewhat of a limbo and Goody Mob weathering their own breakup, the label seemed like a necessary step for Big Boy, because he needed a way to release music, and he also had a gang of artists in the wings that could use the platform. Purple Ribbon's releases included albums by the Purple Ribbon All-Stars, Big Boy, Janelle Monáe, Sleepy Brown, Bubba Sparks, and Vonnegut. But the crew also included artists like Farnsworth Bentley, Scar, and Killer Mike. Sidebar. Where the hell is Scar at? I need an album. I mean, it's been decades. Scar, drop an album, please. Now, I know that list speeds past a few names like Killer Mike and Janelle Monáe, two highly celebrated artists who are arguably deserving of their own episodes, but this essay is about Big Boy, and their legacies are tied to his decision to put the crew on his back and keep it pushing. And that's a fact. Somebody else who's unsung in the Outkast conversation is Mr. DJ. While his vocals weren't featured on Wax, he was more than official too. After volunteering to be the group's DJ in the early 90s, he then went on to form Earthtone III with them. Andre 3000, Big Boy, and Mr. DJ as a trio produced iconic Outkast singles like Miss Jackson and B.O.B. But his production resume doesn't stop there. As a matter of fact, I'll let him do the talking for once. Here's my conversation with one of Outkast's greatest secret weapons, Mr. DJ. Check out the Okayplayer shop for exclusive collectibles and limited runs. That's shop.okayplayer.com. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Almanac of Rap. I'm your host, Donwill, and today's guest is a multi-platinum, Grammy award-winning producer that served as the DJ for the group Outkast. He's worked with everyone from Outkast, the Goody Mob, and the rest of the Dungeon Family crew, as well as 8Ball, MJG, Common, Mos Def, and many, many more. Please give it up right now for Mr. DJ.
Hey, what's up, boss?
Man,
how are you?
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm well, man. How about yourself?
I'm happy to be here talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I'm happy to be here as well. I'm happy to be in the NYC.
Yeah.
You know, big day today, you know. Come chop it up with you a little bit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. But like, listen, man, before we get this thing started, well, it's already started, but before I get to the formal questions,
Okay.
I don't think people understand the magnitude of who's across the table from me. This is Mr. DJ. And if you don't know who Mr. DJ is, that means you don't know who Outkast is. Or you don't know enough about the Dungeon Family. So just give me like a few of your bona fides. Like give me like, just a couple of credits that people would know.
So Miss Jackson, Bombs Over Baghdad, Art of Storytelling, Black Ice, They Don't Dance No More. The list goes on. 8Ball, MJG, Pay Dues, Throw Your Hands Up, Common, Changes, the whole half of that UMC album. I produced that. Lenny Kravitz again. I could go on and on and on. I don't even know if we have enough time.
Listen, we would need 5 more episodes. You know what I'm saying? Because like, just in the list of that songs, I have so many questions I want to ask about those songs.
Yes.
But the purpose of this podcast is not to interrogate each individual song. So I will probably pepper it with a few questions.
Yeah.
But I want to walk through some of your history and some of your career. But before we do that, I gotta ask you.
All right, what that?
Super nerdy question.
Okay.
Art of Storytelling Part 1.
Yeah.
When the woman is like, Keisha, get off that phone.
Yeah.
Who is that woman and who is Keisha? Like, is that like a real?
That was not. Those are like Dre's cousins.
Okay.
And we were Kim and Cookie were the ones that were. They're some friends of ours. They're actually Dre's cousin. Kim is my neighbor at my mom's, right around the corner from my mom's house. And Kim is Dre's cousin. They all hang together.
Okay.
We called them to the studio to do interludes for the album. So that's that day we just did interludes all day and now
they were on the intro to Call Before I Come.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, man. Hold on. Let's get to the questions. All right. So, with that said, I want to go back to early Atlanta.
Okay.
And I want to go back to the thing that makes you, essentially. Like, how did you get your start DJing? What was the scene like when you started DJing? What was the scene like down there? Like, what inspired you to even start?
Well, I don't even know if there was a scene or if I was on the scene when I started to fall in love with DJ, because I fell in love with DJing in the apartments where I lived. And when one of my partners came back home with an 8-track tape that had some DJing and some scratching on it.
Yeah.
And he played it for me while we were outside playing, and he played it in his dad's car. He was like, "Listen to this," and he said, "That's me." And I was like, "What? How did you do that? What? How did you do that?" So that's when I was alerted to DJing, and I realized that it fascinated me. But I went to Texas, man. Young, I must have been in sixth grade. Went to Texas.
Okay.
Moved there with my mom for a job transfer. There's a little small country town called Denton, Texas.
I've been to Denton before.
Denton is where North Texas State University is. What's up to all my people in Denton? I got family in Denton. What's up to y'all?
Shout out Denton.
Yeah. What's up, Jermaine? What's up, Bird? What's up? Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. So anyway, I went to Denton, Texas to live for a couple of years, and it's a small town up about 2 hours outside of Dallas. Well, one of the main DJs from the radio station in Dallas were coming down to Denton to do a little show at the skating rink. So that was a big deal because nothing really happens in Denton, Texas. So we go to the skating rink. Skating rink is packed. Standing room only. Everybody shoulder to shoulder. There's a platform out front. DJ's up there on the platform. Everybody's jamming. I've never even been to at that point had never even been to a skating rink.
Yeah, because you're in sixth
people
grade.
standing right. Yeah, I'm young.
Yeah.
And I'm out the house at 6. When I think back to this story, I was even out of the house at a skating rink without my mom. Even at that point.
That's like 12.
Yeah, bro. I was out. At that time.
It's a different time. We lived in different times.
Yeah, we did. So this DJ, man, I kept seeing him up there doing this, queuing up these records, listening through his headphones. And he was so intense about what he was doing. And I wasn't sure what he was doing, but he was serious, but I could tell that. And man, I watched him throw this record on and he turned his back and the whole crowd went crazy. I was like, whoa, what just happened? Whoa. And he's not even looking at them. What is he? And that's when I realized the power of music and what music and how this man was able to control and connect with this crowd of people through music and not having to actually say anything. And so that appeased me a lot or appealed to me a lot because I'm kind of a quiet person just to start with. So I think that was my man. I think that was what turned me on to being a DJ.
Do you remember the DJ's name?
There was no turning back from that. It was DJ Dr. Rock. He's part of the Fila Fresh crew.
Hold up, wait a minute.
All the old school heads gonna know what that is. Yeah.
Fila Fresh crew is DOC's crew.
Yes, bro.
Nigga.
Yes, bro. So his name was Dr. Rock.
Shout out, man. I gotta take a second to shout out DOC, man. DOC.
Shout out DOC. I talked to DOC on the phone probably about 4 months ago. He was telling me about he might be working on an album.
Man, whatever he got, whenever he want to give it, please.
Yeah,
come through.
He does a lot of work in the community. We were on the phone talking about some community stuff, doing some stuff for the community. Shout out DOC.
Yeah. One of the most incredible albums of all time. Yeah, DOC's album.
Absolutely, yes.
But so from there, that was the bug. But how did you become? Because again, like when I hear you DJ, like you DJ. Like DMCs, like you can DJ. I'm
a scratch DJ.
You're a scratch DJ.
Yes. Okay. So that turned me on to DJ and let me know that I wanted to be a DJ. So once I moved back to Atlanta, I worked at a Chinese restaurant as a little kid. I mean, once I moved back, worked at a Chinese restaurant and saved my money and saved it. I caught the train down to Little 5 Points to this little shop. That where all the stereo equipment was in the windows. In New York, there's a lot of those places where you can look in the window and it's all kind of electronics everywhere. So this one spot I used to always go by there and I always look in the stand and just look in the window like, I want. So eventually I saved my money and I caught the bus down. I went and bought me 2 turntables. They didn't match. One had a straight arm on it, and the other one had the S arm on it.
The belt drive.
The belt drive, everything. It didn't matter. I told myself already that, okay, this will be the one that just plays the music. And then I'll use the other one over here to do my thing. Because it was a mandatory that you scratch. Like, all DJs didn't come up with that scratch culture, some are mixers, some are, but coming from the South, that's what we were. We were scratch DJs and tricks and doing different things. So, that was kind of how that was my, that's when I solidified myself as a DJ once I went and bought my own equipment at a younger age. And then I just kept honing my craft until I became the DJ of Outkast. And
I think it's so interesting how you said a lot of DJs in the South were scratch DJs.
Yes.
Mostly because the depiction of hip hop in the South has never been, I won't say never been, but like early hip hop wasn't about hip hop purism. It wasn't about the turntablism or the breakdancing or graffiti. When people think about the South, they think about, like, they kind of think hip hop almost starts with Jermaine Dupri and with Outkast. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there was something happening before, like MC Shadi. Like, there was this video that came up on YouTube recently. It's called Old Atlanta. It's like a 7-minute long rap song with like all the pioneers of Old Atlanta. And like watching that video, I just remember like all the cool shit from Atlanta I would see on Rap City and like in the late 80s and 90s that, when you would see it, it was a lot more dance forward because that's the singles and like that's the culture. Yeah. But it was some real shit. Like 5 Points was where the hip hop shit was popping off. You know what I'm saying? That's like where the graffiti shops were and record stores.
That was Center Point. For sure.
Gotta give Atlanta some love, man. I fuck with Atlanta.
Atlanta's got a lot of culture, man. Rich in culture.
Yeah. But okay, back to your story. We are on your story, but another thing about you, an interesting thing about you, is that Rico Wade is your cousin.
Rico Wade is my cousin, my brother. I grew up with Rico. We grew up from kids. All the way up.
So okay, that makes this a
rest
silly.
Rest in peace to Cuzzo.
Yes. Yeah, rest in peace to Rico Wade. Yes. Super important. member of the Dungeon, like not the member, the founder of Dungeon.
He's the founder of the Dungeon family. He put us all on, man. He made it. He made it what it is today. We wouldn't be celebrating the things that we're celebrating now in music if it were not for him and his movement and his making us believe the way that we believe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this feels like a silly question because Rico Wade is your cousin.
Silly question is the one you don't ask.
Exactly.
So it's
exactly.
Good. Yeah.
But how did you end up connecting with Organized Noize and Outkast? I guess I want more like just a walkthrough of that.
Organized Noize kind of started to bloom in the apartment on Headland and Delow in East Point, where Rico and I lived. We got a 4-track recorder. I remember when Rico first bought the 4-track recorder that would allow us to have more than one track of recording. Mm-hmm. So then we got a microphone, and then Big Rube had a car accident. And so Big Rube used his car accident money to actually purchase our first MPC to make drums, make beats. And so I had a turntable set up right there in the living room of the apartment where me, Rico, and Ramon lived. Rico's 2 sisters lived, and his mom lived. We all lived in this apartment. So I had a DJ set up. Rico had a little 4-track recorder sitting on the table. Big Rube bought an MPC 60. And so now we had a setup. And so within a year or so, Rico met Sleepy, who produces and sings a little bit. And then we met Ray over at a guy named Joe's house, who was our producer, who produced and recorded everything for us before we had a 4-track. So anyway, from the beginning, before there was an Organized Noize, I've always been associated.
And how did that forming of Voltron in a sense, was it just like we needed was it what was the impetus to do music? Like there were so many things that it could have been organized around.
Because music was what we had in common. We all had music in common, and we all had entertaining in common. Okay. And so each one of us had our own, things that we all had to offer to the stack. I had DJing skills and that kind of thing. Rick had leader skills. Sleepy had singing skills and dancing skills. Big Rube, he had this big voice, and he was a poet. So then Big Rube wrote all the poet and the talking part. So everybody was talented in one way or another, and we all kind of just congregated together and started to do something with it.
And so was this like Society of the Soul era, or was this did that come after Outkast?
Society of Soul was Society of Soul is Sleepy's project. That's one of Sleepy's babies that he has nurtured, throughout, and he'd probably been working on for a while. But that was one of Sleepy's albums, Sleepy's projects, Society of Soul, and that would have come after Outkast.
All right, cool. So speaking of Outkast, the Dungeon family crew is forming. So when did the MCs started coming through? When did
MCs started coming through? It was all starting at the same time. Maybe about 2 years after we moved to Headland and Delow, Outkast was Big and Dre were walking through the plaza across the street where my cousin Rico worked. I worked there as well. I worked at the Chinese restaurant 2 doors down.
So y'all had food?
So that we had food. And so, that's how I was able to make my money, to buy my equipment. And so they were walking down through the plaza one day and Rick, started talking to them. They were rapping. And eventually they developed a relationship together and my cousin took them on to, eventually get a record deal. Yeah. So that was how Outkast came into the picture. And my cousin, then Rico Wade, decided to put me with Outkast as the DJ. I kind of put it in his ear like, hey, man, you probably should put me as a DJ because I've been out here stealing cars and doing all kind of crazy shit. I don't want to go. I need to be doing something else with my time. He's like, yeah, you're right. Okay. So we'll talk to the guys and me and the guys, we hit it off, from the beginning. And so that's kind of how I became the DJ.
Okay, another rap nerd moment. So I heard that Outkast was supposed to be called 3 the Hard Way first.
Yeah. Is
that a rumor?
Maybe. I don't have much info on that.
But because also the thing that they were saying was it was supposed to be 3 the Hard Way and CeeLo was going to be in the group.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
That is true. Do you know why he didn't, what happened with that?
I do not know.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
I got you.
I do not know.
I'm just curious, man. I feel like I have history at the table with me, so I gotta fire off the question.
I remember that CeeLo was supposed to be an Outkast. Those were early times. As producers, you have to do the development stage, right? And so you got to see what kind of music works for that artist. You got to see who fits that part. You got to do those things. So I think somewhere in there, in the translation, maybe they decided that CeeLo was strong enough to be an artist on his own, or better off with the Goody Mob. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
It's fine not to know because you were there. You know,
I was there.
Like the memory gets foggy. But the next question is, as you move through being a DJ, when did you start like looking at production as a thing?
Probably simultaneously, probably a year or two after, because I would then always be at the dungeon where music was being made.
Right.
And so watching somebody be down, watching Ray or Rico be downstairs making a beat and smoking, and ashes are falling on the drum machine and nobody's wiping it off. It's still just like you so into it that it's a whole thing, and then the music is so powerful that somebody upstairs hears it, and it's so powerful that it makes whoever is upstairs come downstairs. And so that it's kind of a dopamine. And so to get that right there, that kind of made me decide, hey man, this is just like DJing. That power of music, it's kind of similar to the DJing. And so I kind of gravitated towards that.
And this was while you were still with DJing with the group. You were also gaining these producer chops.
Yes.
The first thing, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say one of the first things you produced was a Slim Calhoun song?
First things I produced was a Slim Calhoun song. Yes, it was. I got in a drum machine and was downstairs at my mom's house and, had been watching Rico and Ray produce music for so long. So eventually I'm home, tapping on my drum machine. Now Slim, I used to see Slim Calhoun, at this time Mr. was out. Because Slim Calhoun was Mr.'s assistant. So he would always ride them around and take them where they needed to go and things. Yeah. So I would always see him pass by my house. So one day, after I had my drum machine for a few weeks and felt like I was doing something, I stopped him. I was like, yo, because I'd always see him around at studios and different things. I was like, yo, somebody told me you rap. Man, swing by sometime. And sure enough, he pulled the car over right then and came on in. And so we started messing around with music. And so Slim was my first artist that I, started to produce, and actually ended up being the first artist that we signed to Outkast label.
Okay, yeah, man, my mind is going in so many different directions. Like you're saying so much stuff that's just like, my brain cells are firing. But so this is around the time the Mist is happening. Mm-hmm. And I remember like being so into Mr.'s album. Yeah. I played it so much. Did you do anything on that album?
I did not. However, I almost did, because Black Ice is actually the remix to Blackberry Molasses. If you line up if you play Blackberry Molasses a song with Black Ice, you don't even have to do anything. You can put them both on and let it go. They're gonna run the same tempo. They're gonna do the same thing, because that is
produced it around acapella?
I produced it around the acapella of Blackberry Molasses. So Gip just happened to walk in one day while I was in there messing with it and fucking with it at the studio at the dungeon. He just happened to walk in and said, man, what is that? And I was like, I'm working on this remix for Blackberry Molasses. And he's like, no, let me turn the mic on.
Yeah.
And so he went in and, he went in the booth, and from there it was history. It became Black Ice.
I'm glad it became Black Ice, because like Blackberry Molasses itself is just a perfect song.
It's perfect. That
album is perfect.
I have to agree.
Like 100%. If you haven't heard Mr., go get that album. Mm-hmm. But, okay, so Slim Calhoun, you produce on that joint. Mm-hmm. What Outkast album, so this was around Southern Playalistic, when this was between Southern Playalistic and Equimini, or AT Aliens.
First Outkast album, so yeah.
And on AT Aliens was when you officially kind of started producing for Outkast.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I snuck that 8-Ball MJG album in just before that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that first Goody Mob album just before that. The Black Ice. That's how Black Ice came about.
Goody Mob.
They Don't Dance No More and Black Ice were, right in that same time.
I forgot that second Goody Mob came before AT Aliens.
That's the first Goody Mob. Black Ice
shit, it is.
Black Ice is on the first.
It is.
Yeah, it's on the first Goody Mob.
Holy shit. That album is stacked.
Yes.
That's crazy. That's a crazy introduction.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, in a lot of ways, you were like one of the silent members of Outkast.
Yeah.
Because going from Southern Playalistic to AT Aliens, going from an Organized Noize produced album at Southern Playalistic to kind of starting to produce for themselves.
Yes.
the sound of the group progressed. It changed. It won't say it changed. It progressed.
It progressed.
And it sounded more like the members themselves. And in it sounding more like the members, it sounded like you too.
Absolutely.
And I never thought about you being one of the sonic engines.
I appreciate you saying that, because that is one of my hopes of this new album that I just put out, that I'm putting out. Is that people get a chance to understand what my contribution to our sound was.
Right.
And you're able to tell that now, in retrospect. And you'll be able to see, what my contribution was to the sound, which is pretty extensive.
Because listen, you have the production credits to prove it. But within doing that, I wanted to ask about the division of work. Like, was it? I know that Andre did Elevators and brought it on the bus.
Man, Andre did a lot of it. We just about produced most of everything. Big was not as much of a producer. So between Big and I, we did most of the production.
Yeah. Would Big bring
About
samples or like be
Big
like,
bring samples, Big have ideas, Big have hooks. But Big is the hook master, so he would bring the hooks and the different vibes to the music. Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of times, like, were you like, was it a thing where like you might have been better at programming drums and Dre was chopping shit up? Or like, I'm just trying to imagine y'all working.
I'm more of the chopper and the melody person.
I got
you. I come with the samples and chop them and turn them into melodies and feeling.
Yeah.
Dre, to be honest with you, Dre is an all around, man. He is hell. Yeah, he likes to go back. He's a electronic freak. So he likes to go back and get the old drum machines, the Lin drums and the old and the vintage analog stuff. He likes to go back and experiment with sound. So he's a little bit more. He's good at it. Yeah.
Like when you say that, like some of the literal sounds you hear in those songs, like I think about The Whole World, like just like the bass patch, the reverb on this. Like it's the thing about Outkast songs. And why they were so template breaking is that they sounded like nothing.
That's right.
But they sounded familiar. They felt familiar.
That's right.
Like you felt the hip hop syncopation, the patterns, the way the drums moved, rapping over it.
Yeah.
But it was like, if you listen to, I say this all the time, if you listen to the track for Bombs Over Baghdad, if somebody presented you that track, as an artist, you'd be like, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, you wouldn't know what to do with that.
But when you hear Outkast over that, it's like, this makes more sense than anything.
Yes.
So, like, I guess I want to know a little bit more about, like, just, you said he was like just a sound freak, pulling sounds from everywhere. Like,
yeah, what we're influenced also by what very open to being influenced by surroundings.
Yeah.
So the Bombs Over Baghdad, since you speak of it, it came about. We went to Dre and I one night. We decided we were going to a rave. So we went to a rave. And we prepared ourselves and we went to a rave.
Yeah, I like prepared ourselves.
Yeah. So as we came, we prepared ourselves, and once we got there, man, we saw like ambulances outside prepared and water stations and everything. As we were walking in, we were like, man, this shit's serious. So as we're walking in, you start hearing.
Yeah.
The music doing some crazy shit. We were like, what? It's like, man, listen to that. Drum, snares. And so we just went on a trip.
Yeah.
We went on a trip. So when we went back to the studio, that was kind of the stab or the attempt at kind of mimicking what we had just heard at a rave. And so that's where the vibe of Bombs Over Baghdad came from.
That's one of those songs, man. I was saving this question for later, but since we're here, it's literally, if I had to name top 5 songs of all time ever. That's like 2 or 3. Like, because I feel like it doesn't define a hip hop sound. It just defines the limitless of music, like the limitlessness of music and the potential of like really going forth and digging deep into your sound.
Yes, and at the same time informing you of life events, because that song is talking about at that time and it was also the Gulf War going on, and so Bombs Over Baghdad was pertaining to the war that we were involved in.
And then y'all mastered the mid. It was like you had this high-minded the war, Gulf War, but it's bob your head,
bob your head.
Bob your head, ragtop. Like that shit.
And ragtop is a dance for y'all that don't know. Ragtop is a dance in Atlanta.
Okay.
And so when he says bob your head, ragtop, that just really means just get down. You're like,
Oh,
Yeah.
I had no idea ragtop was a dance, but I also know that Atlanta's a huge dance.
And at the end, and a lot of people ask me, hey man, what are you guys saying at the end? It says power, music, electric revival.
Thank you.
Yes, because some people don't know what it says there. So just to give you a little context there.
And I think that in a time like right now,
yeah,
power, music, electric revival is
what we need.
It's what we need. It's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's what your album is going to bring.
Absolutely.
You know
That's
what I'm
the
saying?
plan.
We're
That's
gonna
the goal.
talk about that in a second after we get out the Earthtone 3. And so my next question about this is moving away from Rico's like sound, moving away from like the sound, the Organized Noize that kind of like y'all like baked into Outkast.
Yes.
Was it difficult, scary? Was it like, did you think of it as like, I don't know how niggas gonna take this new shit?
Not at all.
Okay.
But I don't ever recall having a second thought or any second guesses about anything that we ever did, because it was all just natural. What we had realized was that people were accepting us for being from Atlanta, being who we were, being the people raised the way we were. People were accepting that. And so that's what made it cool. Because before that, I don't know that everyone from Atlanta that produced music felt comfortable or felt that they were enough that they could actually claim Atlanta and say we are from Atlanta.
Damn. Yeah.
Because at that time we were not getting the respect from here or the West Coast to feel like, hey man, we can say we from Atlanta and get on and actually make it.
Yep.
You know, so you had to kind of do what was needed to do that. So well, I forgot what the question was.
The question was, was there some sort of like?
There was no formula. We were able to be ourselves and found that was enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving away from Rico Wade's sound and like making the album more in-house just felt like a natural progression.
Yeah,
it didn't
was
feel
a
like we got to
natural
do something
progression.
different, shake it up.
Yeah. And we were able to test the songs, man, on the road. We would work on beats when we come home from tour for a few days. Each of us would work on beats. And when we got back on the tour bus, man, we would, riding down the road, we would just play the beats that we've been working on at home. And niggas be writing to them. You be listening to it and can't wait to get back to Atlanta so that we can record songs to them.
Yeah.
So it became a little pattern of how we worked. It was pretty cool.
So some more of those tour bus beats.
Yeah.
Question, like making shit on the road. Like,
Yeah.
I know we talked about Bombs Over Baghdad. We talked about elevators a little bit. We didn't really touch on that, but I heard that Andre brought that onto the bus.
Yes, he brought it on the bus, and man, we rode to that for 2-3 weeks. But we knew that was the first single off of the next album.
Okay.
That's when we decided that there was going to be Earthtone 3.
That was the moment y'all decided to be Earthtone 3.
It was close to that. Yeah.
Was it? Did you guys had produced some stuff before that, and y'all were like, man, let's just go ahead and make this official?
Everybody was playing around. We were poking around because we had gotten once Outkast got their first little publishing deal and got some money, they went and bought equipment, and so we started to play with equipment, while we would be on the road. So eventually, we felt we were good enough to make it. Yeah.
Another one of those songs that just broke a mold. Rosa Parks.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that, again, like it's more in line with what a traditional rap song would sound like, but it sounds deep fried. It sounds like it's fucking got some pot liquor in it. You know what I'm saying?
It's the slang and the vernacular, man. Like the way they approach.
Hush that fuzz.
Yeah, the way they approach, the subject matter. The way they choose to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about the track that stands out the most for me, other than the rapping and the production, is the harmonica solo at the end.
Ah, yeah.
The harmonica as an instrument. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just gonna say how it got on there.
Yeah.
So one of our guitar players that plays on a lot of our music, he also plays harmonica. And so we used to join him because sometimes
what's his name?
Donnie Mathis.
Okay, Donnie Mathis.
So Donnie Mathis has always got a harmonica in his pocket. And so one day Dre was just like, man, go on, where your harmonica at, man? Pull the harmonica out. And so we used him as the harmonica on that song. Just because we were familiar with his little harmonica thing.
I mean, I love how natural everything was. Like Slim Calhoun was driving Mr. around.
Yes.
The guitarist had a harmonica in his pocket.
Yes.
You just was like, hey man, let me DJ.
That's the story of it all, man. It's kind of like how Dre with the turban. That was a conversation in the studio where we were talking about the old ladies at church. And they all had that little hat on. So the next day he came to the studio with one of those hats on, and that became a thing. So
just as an inside joke.
Yeah. So everything that I can recall, man, on those albums were all events or things that were truly happening. even down to the Miss Jacksons and all of those things.
That was another one.
Yeah.
Miss Jackson is like, Miss Jackson was a criminal, right?
Miss Jackson was Stankonia.
Stankonia. Okay, so
if I'm not mistaken.
We jumped timelines a little bit.
Yeah, I think.
Miss Jackson was one of those. It's one of those ones that like the hook got removed from the song and became popular culture.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like y'all figured out a way. Your music was bigger than the music, and the message was larger than the message. And in a lot of ways, doing something as simple as Andre wearing a turban as a joke to the studio became like a larger conversation about black masculinity or about like wardrobe or about fashion. It became like the lore of the group was that people would put their own meaning onto the art, which is super important for art. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, which was supposedly outcasted.
outcasted and claiming true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so, okay. Who else did Earthtone III produce for outside of the Dungeon family? Because I saw an Instagram post, you said Mint Condition.
Mint Condition, Backstreet Boys, Michelle and Cello, Lenny Kravitz. Let's see, there's more. Mystical. Field Mob.
Field Mob.
Yeah, there's probably absolutely 10 to 20 more that I need to look at paper to tell you.
Okay, and like within that, was it like a short period of time, or like I guess I'm trying to think of.
Earthtone 3 lasted we probably kicked it for about 9 years.
Oh wow, okay,
yeah, I think it lasted about 7 to 9 years,
and
as a collective.
And I was like, what was it? When did it start phasing out? And was it like did it disband or just kind of phase?
After Stankonia, after the Stankonia album, things started to fizzle out just a bit because I think at that point we had reached the top, and people had also become adults, and so had different ideas of things that they wanted to do and how things they wanted to pursue. So the priority of producing music to make more money was not necessarily it was more of a job at that time. Like okay, cool, and so it started to fizzle out around that time. I would say.
So within that. You traveled. Rico Wade was always part of the family, Dungeon family, Organized Noize. But within that, you traveled so far away from the humble beginnings.
Yes.
To, I would say, just being like eye-to-eye counterparts.
Yes.
OGs. And when Rico Wade passed, you know what I'm saying? Like it was heard around the world. It was like it was a thing that was on par with D'Angelo or anyone else passing. Rest in peace. You guys came together in 2016 and 2025 to honor Rico Wade at the One Music Festival. My question within that is, what's something that you learned from him? I mean, I know you learned numerous things.
Yeah, everything.
But like, what's like, if you could just pluck one jewel from the many he's given you, like what's one thing he might have said to you? It don't have to be about music. It could be like, man, you better lace your shoes a different kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It could be.
He taught me how to hustle.
Okay.
Yeah, been a hustler from the beginning. He taught me how to take out the trash for people to get a little money, to go to the grocery store and take out people's grocery to their cars for a couple of quarters. So I've always known how to go and get my own money and work for whatever it is that I wanted from a young age. So, and I got that from my cousin, for sure.
And if I had to like assume, I would say one thing that it feels like he instilled in everybody is to reach out to the person next to you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Just seeing how the Dungeon family operated and how
man,
even like Future, even like Future as an artist, like coming out of Dungeon family.
Yeah.
Like
I remember when Future was sleeping on the floor at the Dungeon. When he talks about that in his raps that he was sleeping on the floor, he was. He was, and I remember we would pull up in our nice cars and he would be out in the driveway looking like, man, I'm telling you, I'm gonna get it, man. I'm gonna get it. And sure enough, that's exactly what he did.
Was that when Future was Meathead?
Yeah, that's when he was Meathead. Yeah.
I remember his name. Do you okay?
Yeah.
Can you shed light on why Meathead as a name?
I have no idea.
Okay. You don't know about the name.
Don't know why. Don't know why it was Meathead. That's what we knew him as. So.
That is such an interesting name, and also like probably one of the best rebrands in rap history.
Yes.
Going from Meathead to Future.
To Future. Yeah.
Out of here.
I got a funny story, man. So I'm in the studio and I keep hearing this music next door bumping loud. And I asked the engineer, man, who is that dude in that other room over there? Oh, that's Future. That's Future. I still know him as Meathead. So I didn't even know that that's who they were talking about in the other room. And I was like, man, whoever that Future dude is, man, that music sounds great. Sounds great. And so when I'm leaving the studio, I run into Meathead in the outside in the lobby. And I'm like, man, what's up? What's up? He's like, I'm like, you in there working with Future? And he laughed. He was like, nigga, I am Future. And I just thought it was the funniest thing because I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't even know.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, humble beginnings, man. And look at him now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On top of the top. Yeah.
All right. So, let me see. Going back in time a little bit.
Okay.
We're moving back to the Source Awards.
Okay.
That moment in history.
Yeah.
You said something about, earlier you said something about how, when I was asking you about the moving away from Rico Wade's production into producing for yourself, you said something like, you know, it wasn't nobody really wanted to claim Atlanta in a way. So in that moment, I feel like in that moment, that seared into my mind is like the not reclamation, but the point of like, nah, we stamping this shit. South got something to say. What was the vibe in that room at that moment? Like, do you remember?
I do remember the vibe, and I also think I remember that. I don't think when Dre said the South had something to say, I don't know that he knew that would be, I don't know that was an intentional stamp on the South, or that it was going to be taken the way that it was taken, and that it would mean all the things that it means now. That was just conversation that we were casually having all the time. In interviews, Dre would always say it all the time. Man, it's like we got a demo and don't nobody want to hear it. And he just happened to say that same thing at the Source Awards, and it was taken a whole, it was amplified way more there, and people took it,
It became a mantra.
It did.
And it's something that people still say to this day. And it's something that people will say in the future.
To speak to the vibe that day, I didn't even know we were in danger. I'm like a little damsel in there. I'm
good vibe.
Happy as a mom. We had the Source Awards, we in New York. Woo, look at this big plate. Look at all the people. I didn't know. And so when the Salt and Pepper lady, when they presented the award and she said, Outkast. It didn't even, at that moment, I was like, why she say it like that? And so from there, that's when you started to know that something was wrong, because people started booing and it looked, and I was like, oh.
So, okay, they were actually booing.
Yeah, they were booing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were booing. Because we had not gotten that respect. The East Coast had not restarted or accepted our coast as as a place that represents hip hop yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it was hard for them. We already talk funny, in their eyes. So, no way we're allowing you to be a representative of our hip hop culture. Yeah. It's kind of how they treated us.
And so I would imagine you guys took some of that energy home.
Yeah.
Put it in the music. Put it in the studio.
Made the album. That's that was always some of the fuel. Yeah, to make some good music.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot. Yeah, we had a lot of lessons to teach.
Just for clarity's sake, what album came after that?
ATLians was the second album. Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like after that moment, I mean, even though that was your second album, like every album hit like a different level leading up to the last one. You know what I'm saying? Everything was going up and up and up.
Yeah. We were hitting different levels in life at that time too, man. Every album, man. You imagine how much we were taking in between those albums, how much we were seeing, how much we were being introduced to, how much life you were living in between those albums. So each time, man, they were getting better and better, and more out there, because it was getting more out there. It was getting more out there.
Like, for a person that's into music, like, you kind of need that out there to like put yourself into.
Yeah.
You can see yourself in those spaces.
For sure.
And speaking of traveling through space and the albums becoming bigger and bigger, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh.
I don't know how much bigger it gets than that.
Shouts out to Outkast for because what I don't want to do is to take away the shine from them as their accomplishment. Because they are the group Outkast, and they deserve the accomplishment, the accolades. So shout out to them for winning, for being inducted. I just happen to be one of the guys that produced most of the music. You know what I mean? And so I'm happy for that.
Yeah.
For that.
Yeah.
I let them have that.
Yeah. And celebrating both Andre and Big Boy, I have two random questions about them both.
Okay.
The first one isn't even a question, really. It's just, no, it is a question. Have you ever bought a dog from Big Boy's kennel?
I have, man. I had a little pit bull I bought from him. And I was keeping it over at the time. I was staying a lot at the dungeon, sleeping over there a lot. So I had my little dog over at the dungeon. And the cook, man, the chef, one day she was leaving out to go get some food, something else to prepare. And my little pit bull happened to walk out behind her car in the driveway and she ran him over, man. So, I had a little pit bull from him.
Oh, man, that's a tragic story.
That's a tragic story. I know, not right in the middle of all this good stuff. But
damn.
So you don't have to use
I'm
that.
sorry, I didn't mean to bring up bad memories, but
oh, man, no, that's good.
you know,
it's cool.
shout out to Big Boy. I just want to say about Big Boy.
Yes.
Big Boy deserves so many flowers.
Yes. Yeah.
Big
absolutely.
Boy deserves the world.
Absolutely.
He's one of those. Yeah, go ahead.
He remained consistent. He continued to nourish his passion.
Yep.
Even after the Outkast, things stopped for however long. He deserves all of his flowers. Absolutely.
Man, and like even within Outkast, like I think a lot of times we have a conversation about Andre. And Big Boy has been steadfast, just
without the contrast, Dre may not be magnified as much as he is. It's almost such as light and dark.
Group dynamic.
Without dark, then light would not make any sense.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Big Boy, feel free to come on the show, man. You are absolutely one of the ones I need to talk to.
Yeah.
And the next question is about Andre.
Okay.
Have you ever tried to like chop up any of his new stuff, like flip some of the instrumentals, like the flute stuff or like the piano stuff? Just for fun, just to
I have not. In my head, I have.
Okay.
I actually got married to the first song on the album.
On the
that's what I walked down the aisle to. Yeah,
which one? The flute album?
On the flute album.
The first one goes crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was so yeah.
I played that album a lot. Like they did private screenings of it. Well, they did screenings of it. And I went to the first screening, and I decided to do mushrooms that night.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I'm in there. I tell you, I had the best sleep of my life to that album experience. And that is not a diss, because I'm a very tense, alert, high alert person.
I had a not too distant experience the first time I heard the album as well.
But yeah, shout out to Dre, man.
Yeah, shout out, man.
I love the instrumental shit. I'm not holding you. Keeping on with the production theme,
Yeah.
I want to play you a couple of beats.
Okay.
There's this phenomenon called tight beats.
Tight beats.
Where producers will
tight.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Producers will make music in the vein of other producers to try and, get some ears on it or just, like showcase their abilities. So I'm gonna play you. This is not a tear down session, by the way. Like, you don't have to say that sucks.
Okay.
Just
I won't
say
do that anyway.
Just say if it feels like an Outkast, if it feels like something Outkast would use.
Okay.
Because they're all Outkast type beats.
Tight beats.
Not tight.
Yeah, tight. Yeah. Okay.
All right, so this is the first one.
Okay. Let me see what's happening. That's Jezebel, like a Jezebel like.
Jazzy Bell like, yep. It go kind of hard.
That shit go hard.
Yeah. All right, so that first one gets the thumbs up.
That one gets thumbs up. You can send me that.
Yeah.
You can send me that.
I'll send you links to
me
it.
that type shit. Yeah.
This is the second one. It's got a little intro to it.
No, it's supposed to go like bum 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 bum. I'm like this.
Woo! Got that Preston Crump feel to it. That's the basis, right?
Hey. Yes, sir. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like all. Yeah.
One more. We just
No. We can keep vibing. Let's go.
Vibing out to music at this point. This is the last one.
Yeah, all that like. Yeah.
So
definitely Outkast type Outkast type beats.
So
yeah.
if another album pops off, there we go.
You producing beats on the side? Is that what you're doing? Yeah.
I didn't make these. I do produce. I didn't make these beats though. The first beat is real by Bailey Daniel.
Okay, Bailey, that's shit popping. Yeah, that sounds popping.
The second one, Bum Bum, was by a guy named Flowers in Narnia.
Okay, I like Flowers in Narnia. Should hit me.
That was my favorite.
Actually, all of them should hit me up.
Yeah. And the last one was On the Run by Tizzy Beats.
Okay.
Yeah, so shout out to y'all three.
Shout out to y'all, and y'all hit me up because I could possibly get you some work. That's what we do here at Almanac of Rap. We pay it forward. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And we about to get into some of your work in a minute, but I have one more question about production.
Okay.
This is a bit of a fun question. Okay. So you know how they have a Mount Rushmore usually?
Okay.
I want to make a Frankenstein. Give me 3 producers who you would like you would use Dilla's chops, Pete Rock's horns.
Okay.
Frankenstein's producer.
Okay, Frankenstein producers, I would use Ray Murray from Organized Noize's chops.
Okay.
I would use Dr. Dre's mixes.
Okay.
I would use Mike Will's top drums, his finishing drums that top it all off. And let me see.
Finish that thing off, man.
Yeah.
That's it?
I think. And a little Preston Crump on bass to just kind of round it off.
Let's get that producer camp popping off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we should get a producer camp together. I think we should have one.
That would be crazy.
And I think I should be a part of it. Like, let's get me and you producer camp together.
Seriously?
And yeah, I'll come back. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
You said this on camera.
I said it on camera, boy. So next time we should be talking about, hey, make sure we see y'all next time at the camp.
Yeah.
Make sure that happens.
We'll talk about it off mic. Yeah,
yes,
for real.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question I want to talk about gets into some of the new stuff you're doing because you're putting out an album.
I am putting out an album.
When this comes out,
I am. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This will come out later. You have an album out. Mm-hmm. Your album has come out, and
the single has come out.
The single has come out.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the first statement as an artist you've made.
It is semi. I was in a group before. It's my first solo attempt.
What's the name of the group?
The group was Mama's Mustache, and that was it's a cool name. One of my friends came up with. So that was my group thing attempt. This is my first solo attempt at being an artist. Yeah.
What's it like being a new artist at this stage in your career?
Oh man, it's no different than being a producer. I just decided to use a different pencil and color.
Yeah.
To project my expression. You know, sometimes, this pen may be producing. This pen may be a rapper. This pen may be a furniture maker. I'm also a carpenter. So, it's just expression.
Yeah.
So I'm deciding to use the artist pen for now to express.
Are you doing anything vocally or is it all production?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I am the artist. I am rapping.
What?
I am producing. I am doing everything. I even engineered the whole album and recorded myself. I did everything myself, which was so fun because I've had to do it for everybody else for so long. So the process is like the back of my hand. But it was more exciting this time because I was able to do and say what I wanted to say and compliment my beat the way I wanted my beat to be complimented.
You know what's crazy? Like, you walked into this room with so much history.
Yeah.
And like, looking at these albums, I'm sitting, the albums you produced are behind you, and I'm like looking at the fabric of Outkast, and the most wild shit you said is that you're rapping. For me, my mind is like, what is this?
Yes.
What? Like, okay, so now I gotta ask you, what was that like for you? I mean, I know you like work with rappers all the time, so like, was it like what?
It was like, man, let me go and pop my shit one time.
Let
me just go on and because I rapped first. I rapped first as a kid.
Mama's Mustache.
Mama's Mustache. And even before that, man, when I was in Texas, I got turned on to want to be a DJ in Texas. But the dude that I ran with was a DJ. And so I used to help him break down his equipment. But every party, I would pick up the mic and say the same rap. Every single party he DJ'd. So I was already kind of an MC, wanted to be an MC a little bit, back younger. So I just wanted to take, at this point in my life, I'm able to do whatever it is that I want to do. And so I wanted to cross that bridge.
How many tracks? And who's on the album?
9 tracks, man. 9 tracks. We got Jazzy Faye on the album. We have, but first single is Pop My and it is featuring Big K.R.I.T. And it just dropped today, going crazy. And then there's CeeLo from Goody Mob, Dungeon Family on the album. Gnarls Barkley, some of you may know him as Gnarls Barkley. CeeLo's on the album. We got Killer Mike on the album. We got Mika Means on the album. We got Nick Hustle on the album. You know, it's a well-rounded album with all kinds of good stuff.
And the vibes sound like they're gonna be immaculate because you got dope. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Now, didn't skimp on the music. We got some songs where we even just let the music play for a minute. You know, old school.
This is like, you sound as excited as you've ever been. You know what I'm saying?
I am. Because it's me. You know, I've always been in the shadow of so many other great people throughout my career. And have always been cool with taking the back seat to that, just so that the full big picture is still achieved and that we reach where we are, where we're trying to go. So now that we have made it to where we were trying to go, now I have gotten out of the car, and now I'm gonna fucking.
You got out of the car, you got another car.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Another car, and now I'm headed on to where I'm headed.
That's so beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's exciting, man.
What's the album called?
Beats, Vibes, and Verses.
Beats, Vibes, and Verses.
Yeah, there you go. Got it. Be coming out the 8th of next month, right after the induction, the Hall of Fame induction. We'll be headed. It'll be coming out. Yeah.
So we're coming to the end of the interview.
Okay.
I got a couple more questions.
That's sad, but okay.
Yeah, man, I don't want to end
This is cool.
I got a couple more questions, though. One question I'm asking you to sacrifice, kill a kid, basically. What's your favorite Outkast album? If you had to pick a favorite.
Oh, man, wow. It used to be AT Aliens. Now I would have to say Stankonia.
Stankonia. Stankonia has been my favorite one. Well, it's just always been. I go between Stankonia and Southern Playalistic. Southern Playalistic, I go to that because it's just a formative memory. Like, I was in the backseat of a car with a speaker box behind me, smoking some weed, the Crumbling Herb.
Sir.
Nigga, that's my album.
Yes, sir.
But Stankonia is one of those like life albums.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
man, it is, man. Stankonia captured past, present, and futuristic. It was all in one.
Yep.
Because by that time, when we were doing Stankonia, man, we were on cloud 9. Financially, cloud 9 mentally. Cloud 9, I mean, it was a euphoric time. And so that album kind of shows that.
Yeah, it says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and man, like, there's so many other things that I clearly didn't get to talk about that I wanted to talk about, like Love Below, Speaker Box, Idlewild.
Yeah.
Idlewild.
We're gonna throw those in between those
producer camps.
Them producer camps.
Yeah, man. Listen, man.
Make them work.
I got one more question, and this isn't even really a question. It's more of like a new segment that I do where I seek justice for an underrated or overlooked album. It's called the Big Playback. And if you got anything that you feel like need a little bit more love and need to be put up, I'm sorry.
For sure.
Let me, and people need to be put up on a little more.
Yes.
Shout it out.
So shout out, you should go check out Rory's album, Strawberry Moon.
He got a new album?
Rory has an album called Strawberry Moon that was produced by myself that is amazing. And if you have not heard it, you should probably go check it out. It's the most underrated, missed album there was.
Okay. Shout out to Rory. I was wondering about Rory a couple of days ago. Man, that's crazy.
Absolutely.
Well, for me, at first it was going to be Idlewild. At first. But then I remembered Mr. and Society of Soul. I got a twofer.
Oh, that Society of Soul was something crazy. Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
Wind.
Yes. Yeah. Peaches and Herb. Oh, man.
What was that? Pushing
On. Yeah, man. That shit was amazing. That was an amazing album. Shout out to Sleepy Brown. I just talked to him yesterday on the phone. So
Sleepy.
Yeah, shout out to Sleep.
Come through with Big Boy, man. We could, hang out.
Yeah. I'll hook it up.
That album and Mr. Mr. was one of those albums, man, like when I tell you, Organized Noize, man, y'all changed my life, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you, man.
I really appreciate you making some time to sit at this table with me and have a conversation.
Thank you for having me, man. This is great.
And we got to come back after the album has done a couple laps around the sun and when you start working on some more shit.
And we start the beat camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the whatever we're doing.
The producer camp.
We
got plans to make.
Yeah. Okay.
Dead serious.
That's a bet. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Once again, big thank you to Mr. DJ for stopping by the show to hang out with me. His album is out now, so if you haven't listened to it yet, go do that immediately. But wait till after the credits, because I've got a little bonus for those of you who stick around. The Almanac of Rap is created and hosted by Donwill. Executive producers are Donwill, Aisha Sese, and Travis Harris. The show is directed by Travis Harris. The show is produced and edited by Kobe Bafor. Art direction for the show was handled by Kaushik Kaladindi. The production coordinator is Bianca Ortiz. Audience development is handled by Hassan Spruill and Ashawn McCullen. Our audio marketing strategist is Fabian Mickens. The show's camera operators are Travis Harris, Kobe Bafor, Trigger Bowden, and Compton Timberwolf. Graphic design was done by Jefferson Harris. Compton's also our technical director and audio engineer. Our social media producers are Taylor McGee and Michael Mays Jr. The show's associate producers are Brianna Harris, Tiara Jackson, and Javon Stevenson. The show's theme music was provided by Von P. The show is written by Donwill and Peter Berry. In my research for all things Mr. DJ, I found a clip of Bobby Valentino hanging out with his old R&B group Mr. at a bowling alley. Blackberry and molasses.
I got the Mr. Boys in here.
We live? You live?
Blackberry molasses. One of the things that never change. You gotta keep pushing on. The sun don't rain all the time. There's gonna be some heartache and pain. Ooh, that boy Byron done got them vocals up. Byron done got them vocals going digi.
Man, they still got it. Shout out to Mr. Man. All right, see you guys next time on the Almanac of Rap.